Hello and welcome to another Magic the Gathering unboxing. So today we see the release of the new Theros set, and here is a fat pack from that set. So we're going to crack this open, see what we get inside it. Let's have a quick look at the back of the box. So according to this, we have a player's guide with complete visual encyclopedia, Theros card box, 9 Theros 15 card booster packs, 80 card basic land pack, special edition spin down life counter, and 2 deck boxes. So let's crack this open and see what sort of pulls we get in these boosters. Okay, so we'll have a quick look at the artwork on the actual box here. Here you go. The contents. There are 2 deck boxes. And before we open up the cards, these packs here, let's have a quick look at the player's guide. See what it says about the set. Okay, so very much a sort of gods, myth and heroes based set. And in this particular set as well, enchantments matter. A little bit about the gods of Theros. And then Elspeth is in the set. And some other planeswalkers here, and then the 10 coolest Theros cards. So you always get this sort of 10 coolest cards in the set in these player's guide. So number 1 is Elspeth, Sun's Champion. Then we have Erebos, God of the Dead, Stormbreath Dragon, Xenagos, the Reviler, or the Revealer, Prophet of Crufix, Temple of Deceit, Phalanx Leader, Boon Satyr, Hammer of Perforus, and Dissolve. This is interesting. So they've got a magic variant here, Wizard's Tower. Now what's it saying here? I've not seen this magic variant before. So for 2 to 5 players, looks like it's based around the fat pack. Open the 9 booster packs and the land pack in this fat pack. Try not to look at the cards in the boosters yet. Shuffle all the cards together into a single huge deck. Determine randomly who will go first. Deal 3 cards to each player. Starting with the first player, each player may discard any number of cards and redraw that many. Once all players have done this, shuffle the discarded cards and put them on the bottom of the deck. Put the top 7 cards of the deck face up in the middle of the table. The deck becomes a library that's shared by all players. Playing the game. When playing Wizard's Tower, your draw step gets a bit more interesting. First, choose one of the face-up cards and add it to your hand. If there aren't any, put the top 7 cards of the tower face up in the middle of the table, then choose one. Draw the top card of the tower. All players share the same library and the same graveyard. If you cast a spell that targets a card in an opponent's graveyard or manipulates the top card of the library, those cards affect the shared library or graveyard. The face-up cards aren't considered to be in any game zone. Other than that, the game is played as free-for-all magic game. The last player left standing wins. bit about other products, and then we move on to the actual card encyclopedia. So this will list all of the cards within the set. And then there's a checklist. So let's open some packs. So first up, have a quick look at the spin down counter. So there we have the set logo. And in this pack we've got our land, so we'll have a quick look at the artwork. Okay. Let's focus in on this so you can see it a bit better. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of the artwork here. So they tend to alternate here, so it's a, we'll go through and you'll just see eventually this should repeat. I think normally you get about 4 types of artwork for each of the colours of mana. And if you remember on the back of the box it said there's 80 land. And I think we're nearly close to repeating ourselves there. So I'm not going to go through all of this. Oops. And I'm just going to stop there. So that's the land from the set. And now we get on to the exciting bit. So we have here 9 boosters plus our ever-present how to play. Okay, let's crack open some packs. So what I'll try and do is just highlight some of the mechanics in the set as well. So we have, what's this, Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Excuse me as I mangle this. Present Chimera. Fleet Feather Sandals. Ill-Tempered Cyclops. So this has Monstrosity. So this is a mechanic from the set. So what does Monstrosity do? Well, on this card, which is a 3 red Cyclops, which has Trample for a 3/3. For 5 and a red, Monstrosity 3. If this creature isn't monstrous, put 3+1/+1 counters on it, and it becomes monstrous. So obviously it's important to keep track of what creatures are monstrous and which aren't. Voyage's End. Notice there's a lot of scry in the set as well. This one's got scry on it. So with Voyage's End, 1 and a blue, you get to return a target creature to its owner's hand. So you're bouncing a creature back into its owner's hand. And you get to scry for 1. So you look at the top card of your library. You may put that card onto the bottom of the library. Citizen Battle Priest, it's got Heroic on it. So with Heroic, whenever you cast a spell that targets Cetesian, or Cetesian, I think that is, Cetesian. Whenever you cast a spell that targets Cetesian Battle Priest, you gain 2 life. Bayphilidian, another mechanic on this one, another new one. 1 and a black for a 1/1's got Bestow on it. So with Bestow, it says bestow 4 and a black. If you cast this card for its bestow cost, it's an aura spell with enchant creature. It becomes a creature again if it's not attached to a creature. So this is one of these enchantment creatures where you can actually attach it as though it's an aura spell. It's also got Death Touch on it, and enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has Death Touch. So you'll notice on these bestow cards, there's obviously an ability which comes into play or comes into effect when it's enchanted onto a creature or group of abilities. Travelling Philosopher, it's just a 2/2 for 1 and a white. Two-headed Cerberus, it's got double strike. Aqueous Form, Phalanx for Phalanx Leader, another card with heroic on it, so we're moving on to the uncommons. Peak Eruption, so a bit of a mountain destruction going on there. Satyr Piper, and we've got a Mythic straight away here, so we've got Stormbreath Dragon, 3 and 2 red for a 4/4, has flying, haste and protection from white. Also for 5 and 2 red, you can pay that and get Monstrosity 3. If this creature isn't monstrous, put 3+1/+1 counters on it and it becomes monstrous. When Stormbreath Dragon becomes monstrous, it deals damage to each opponent equal to the number of cards in that player's hand. So obviously timing's pretty important on that. And we have a swamp card and an advert. So what I'm probably going to do in a later video is go back through all these cards and try and build a deck from this particular set of boosters. So March of the Return, so let's keep a lookout for any mechanics from the set we've not seen yet. Lightning Strike. There's obviously a more expensive Lightning Bolt, so with Lightning Bolt you would be, it's 1 red and it deals 3 damage to target creature or player. With Lightning Strike it's 1 and a red. Fleshmad Steed, Traveller's Amulet, Shredding Winds, Spark Jolt, another burn spell that's got Scry on it. Last Breath, Scourge Mark, another Grip Tide, Satyr Hedonist, Tormented Hero, so moving on to our uncommons. Also another thing with heroic. Battlewise Hoplite, another heroic card. Shipwreck Singer. Oh, excellent! Another Mythic. We've got Polychronus World Eater. So this was one of the lead cards in the. Was that right? I seem to remember. I can't even remember what I've unboxed. But the oh, my brain has gone today. But anyway, the dual deck that I did recently, I'm pretty sure this was in it. I'll have to check now. Anyway, 2 and 2 green for 5/5, and then XX green Monstrous X. So this is a legendary creature, Hydra, and it's Monstrosity. So with Monstrosity X here, this can get quite complex. If this creature isn't monstrous, put X +1/+1 counters on it, and it becomes monstrous. When Polychronus World Eater becomes monstrous, it deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures your opponents control. Each of those creatures deals damage equal to its power to Polychronus. And a forest and a soldier token. Minotaur Skullcleaver, Nimbus Naiad. I think that is. God, these have got some tricky names. Another Bestow, Battlewise Valor, Disciple of Finax, I think that is. Wavecross Triton, Observant Alcide, Satyr Rambler, Scourge Mark, Coastline Chimera, Rage of Perforus, Magma Jet, so moving on to our uncommons, Fanatic of Mogis, Minotaur Shaman. Oh, so here's something else that comes into play in this set, and this is Devotion. So when Fanatic of Mogis enters the battlefield, it deals damage to each opponent equal to your devotion to red. And there's an explanation there. So each red in the mana costs of permanence you control counts towards your devotion to red. Ordeal of Nylea. And our rare is Ember Swallower, so it's 2 colourless, 2 red, creature elemental 4/5, 5 and 2 red, monstrosity 3. So if this creature isn't monstrous, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it, and it becomes monstrous. When Ember Swallower becomes monstrous, each player sacrifices 3 lands. And a mountain and an advert. Slip or Sip of Hemlock, Stymied Hopes, Ill-Tempered Cyclops, Cetesian or Cetesian Griffin, Triton Shore Thief, Lost in a Labyrinth, Agent of Horizons, Fade into Antiquity, Satyr Rambler, Observant Alicid, Stone Shock Giant, so moving on to our uncommons, Sea God's Revenge, Coordinated Assault, and our rare is Meletius Charlatan, 2 and a blue for a 2/3 creature human wizard. For 2 blue, tap it. The controller of target instant or sorcery spells copies it. That player may choose new targets for the copy. And a swamp and a cleric token. Ill-Tempered Cyclops, Leaf Crown Dryad, Chosen by Heliod, Spheres Band Centaurs, Boulderfall, Cetesian Battle Priest, keep saying that wrong, it's Cetesian Battle Priest, Vulpine Goliath, Yoked Ox, Baleful crikey, these are easy to mangle. Baleful Eidolon. Eidolon? I don't know what that is. That also has Bestow on it. Gainsay, Stone Shock Giant. So we're moving on to our uncommons. Triton Fortune Hunter. I can see a foil lurking there. Our rare is 100-handed one, so 2 and 2 white for 3/5 with vigilance. 3 white monstrosity 3. If this creature isn't monstrous, put 3 +1/+1 counters on it, and it becomes monstrous. As long as 100-handed one is monstrous, it has reach and can block an additional 99 creatures each combat. And our foil, that's a nice foil, Temple of Deceit. It's also a rare. So Temple of Deceit's a land. And this looks like this is one of the Scrylands. So Temple of Deceit enters the battlefield tapped. That's the downside of this, the problem. So you do get mana fixing for blue and black with this. And also when Temple of Deceit enters the battlefield, you get to scry for 1. So you can look at the top card of your library and you may put that card on the bottom of your library. And a forest and a soldier token. Okay, Afaria's Warden, Sip of Hemlock, Stymied Hopes, Satessan Griffin, I got it right that time, Vaporkin, Commune with the Gods, Return Phalanx, or Phalanx, Lagona Band Elder, Lost in the Labyrinth, or Lost in a Labyrinth, Farika's Curse, Heliod Emissary, it's got Bestow on it. So this is the first of the uncommons in this pack. Fanatic of Mogis, another one of these, which you remember has Devotion on it. Ordeal of Nylea, and another Meletis Charlatan, which we looked at earlier, the Swamp, and an advert card. Stymied Hopes, Nessian Courser, Lash of the Whip, Staunch-Hearted Warrior, that is, Borderland Minotaur, Agent of Horizons, Fade into Antiquity. So we're starting to see a lot of repeats here in our commons, obviously. Satyr Rambler, Observant Alicid, Scourge Mark. Our uncommon is Karametra's Acolyte. We also have a Phalanx Leader in our pack. Warrior's Lesson. Swan Song is our rare, so for a single blue we can counter a target enchantment, instant or sorcery spell. Its controller puts a 2/2 blue bird creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Island and another advert. Okay, Ill-Tempered Cyclops, Leaf Crown Dryad, chosen by Heliod, Ferry's Band Centaurs, Borderland Minotaur, Baleful Edalan, still can't say it, Benthic Giant, Anal, Travelling Philosopher, Nemesis of Mortals. So we're moving on to our uncommons. Oh, I can see another foil there. Ordeal of Erebus, Cutthroat Maneuver. So another Mythic. So we're getting more than our fair share of Mythics in this particular box. So this is Perforus, God of the Forge, 3 in a red, legendary enchantment creature god, 6/5. It's indestructible. As long as your devotion to red is less than 5, Perforus isn't a creature. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Perforus deals 2 damage to each opponent. 2 in a red, creatures you control get +1 and +0 until end of turn. And our foil is an uncommon, although that foil looks particularly good, the way the goblet on there is standing out. I don't know how easy that, you can see that on camera. Quite sort of ghostly effect there. 3 in a green. It's an instant. You can destroy a target artifact or enchantment and scry for 2. So you get to look at the top 2 cards of your library, then put any number of them on the bottom of the library and the rest on top in any order. Of a land card and a soldier token. So let's see what we can find in our last pack. So we've done pretty well in our Mythic account so far. We've done exceptionally well actually. Let's see what this has in it. And of course we've got a couple of foils as well. Grey Merchant of Asphodel, Boon of Erebus, Acrone Crusader, Agent of Horizons, Crackling Triton, Spark Jolt, Last Breath, Scourge Mark, Griptide, Kerimetra's Acolyte, that is, Flanks Leader, so we're moving on to our uncommons, Flamecast Wheel, another Mythic. Crikey, this is a bit of an excessive pack, excessive fat pack. Heliod, God of the Sun, 3 in a white, legendary enchantment creature god. Indestructible, not surprisingly, 5/6. As long as your devotion to white is less than 5, Heliod isn't a creature. Each white in the mana costs of permanents you control counts towards your devotion to white. Other creatures you control have vigilance. 2 and 2 white, put a 2/1 white cleric enchantment creature token onto the battlefield. So let's have a look at our foils. This is our third foil now. So this is a common. Grey Merchant of Asphodel, 3 and 2 black. So let's actually see what this does. When Grey Merchant of Asphodel enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life, where X is your devotion to black. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. So again, each black in the mana cost of permanents you control counts towards your devotion to black. And a forest and an advert. So obviously the devotion side of things is going to work well, particularly well in mono-coloured decks. So there we have the Theros set. There's our 2 boxes and our spin down counter that we got there. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye for now.